Okay, so if you're unaware, Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast have released their Tales of Middle-earth set. And of course, nobody's happy about it because they decided to race swap characters. Now, what a lot of people who are reacting to this don't understand is Magic spoils its cards early. This is the official Magic Wizards website, and you can actually get a good look at the upcoming cards. And the most annoying part is the artwork is amazing. For every shitty race swap card, you get like 10 amazingly beautiful cards. And Eastmar Cavalier, who is a woman, which people who don't think ahead, for every female warrior you put in Middle Earth, you take away from Eowyn's story. Her own brother even tells her the war is the domain of man. And of course, they race swapped Gandalf, Landroville, the Eagles. Yeah, they even got Rosie Cottonseed. And they race swapped Eowyn, of course. Second Breakfast. Looks amazing. And here's Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, who actually, instead of black, now looks Asian, which is funny. Easterling Vanguard. Fun fact, Easterlings actually aren't white, so this is another race swap that... stupid. Of course. Nazgul. You can have 9 of them in one deck. There's Shelob's Ambush, but Shelob isn't a card for some reason. Witch King of Angmar, which actually is book accurate, except unlike the Peter Jackson movies, which is funny. Yeah, here's Eomer, who is Eowyn's brother, but they didn't race swap him. Which I guess whoever drew this didn't know that. Swarming of Moria, Rise of the Day. Yeah, there's also no King Theoden card. Legolas, Generous Ent, the Mary. Yeah, they race swapped Mary too. And of course, Woe's Pathfinder, a human champ. Again, the more female warriors you create, the more you take away from Eowyn's story. You can't have a story of a character facing adversity if you diminish the adversity. Of course, Aragorn, they race swapped him again. People are calling it racist if you don't like it. People didn't like that Viggo Mortensen had 5 o'clock shadow in the movies. And here's Gandalf, now looking white. It's like every Gandalf card, he looks like a different race. Of course, they race swapped Eowyn again, who looks more like an elf warrior than, of course, they race swapped Mary. Prince of... Sauron of many colors actually looks good. Tom Bombadil. And here's the lands, and they are just beautiful. That's the most infuriating part about all of this is these cards are... They're all beautiful. They're just poor adaptations. And, of course, here's a more complete look at the cards. Gollum looking great. He looks more like a creature that has suffered than like some other species, which actually kind of better than the Peter Jackson film. I have to admit it. Doors of Doran, Mines of Moria, the Council Deliberation, Bilbo's. I just love the Balrog. Westfall Rider. Gandalf the White Rider again. Now looking black again. They got goblins, which I wonder if they remembered that in Lord of the Rings, goblins, orcs, and Uruk-hai are actually all the same thing. It's just different languages. Peregrines. Stew of conies. Love it. All right, here's another version of the Witch King, looking more like he's from the Peter Jackson trilogy, but still, it looks amazing. And is that the only depiction of Theoden we're ever gonna get? Arwen's Gift, Snarling Warg, there's Gollum again. Yeah, Bill the Pony. But again, the Artman here's Galadriel. Of course, they race swapped Galadriel. I mean, at least she's not a warrior in this one. That's a plus for something. Yeah, what was it Liv Tyler said about Arwen, people not liking Arwen being a fighter in the trilogy? You don't need to put a sword in Arwen's hand to make her powerful, because power comes in many forms. When Boromir again looks good. Gimli. Yeah, I love Samwise. Again. All right, here's the second page. I just opened up pre-horn. Oh, fun fact: there's supposed to be only one copy of this One Ring in all of the set. I hope somebody plays the game Flip It and Rip It with this card. I will play Flip It and Rip It, just hopes that I destroy that card. Just out of sheer spite. Lorien Brooch, looking cool. You Cannot Pass. This is the One Ring that's supposed to be only one copy of. That's right. It's not here, but they have a third of a version of these lands that look like Tolkien maps straight out of the book. That is the most infuriating part. Is kind of the same problem with The Last of Us. Is when it's a good adaptation, it's amazing, which makes the bad adaptations that much more infuriating. And people who don't understand, Merry and Eowyn and Gandalf are described in the books. They are characters, and the world is described. Even so, for these characters, race swapping doesn't make sense. That's not how they're described in the books. And the problem is, there's already diversity in Magic the Gathering. One of the most powerful characters in Magic is Teferi, a black wizard planeswalker. And it's just why it's what I've said about Marvel Comics and other features is you're kind of trying to diversify what's already diverse. To a non-comic book fan, Black Panther came out in 2017. But to comic book fans, Black Panther's been around since the 70s. So it's just weird. And it's very situational. I mean, I've got a Witcher book right here in front of me, Flesh and Flame, where Geralt goes to the Ophiri continent. And I'll say this, there's too many white people in it. Because the Ophiri is supposed to be like Northern Africa or the Middle East during the 11th century. There's too many white people in it. It's the opposite of the problem with the Netflix show. Because the Netflix show is supposed to be there's more there's more diversity in the Witcher Netflix show than modern day Poland. And diversity is a product of modern day. And all it comes down to is people don't like that it doesn't matter what it was changed into. People don't like that it was changed. So, again, why is it people keep putting so much money into into a story that is exclusively supposed to be kind of the Bronze Age of England. That was Tolkien's entire goal, was that this was supposed to be the age of myth for England mythology, that was actually kind of wiped from the history books. And there are plenty of writers who do kind of a sword and sorcery style book or comic or everything, and it's entirely based off of various African folklores instead of European. And it's like Eric July said, they only see the white characters as legitimate. They'll put more money into. They'll put 10 times the budget into diversifying Lord of the Rings than finding some indie developer about that doesn't have any white people in it. Imagine if, well, don't even have to imagine that. They've got a live action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, like Lord of the Rings or The Witcher or Game of Thrones. It is a sword and sorcery style show, but unlike it, it is based entirely off of Asian cultures. The Earth Kingdom being China, the Fire Nation being Japan, the Airbenders being sorry, Tibetan, and the Water tribes being based off of Inuit cultures. There shouldn't be any white characters in there. It should be all Asian cast. And it's the opposite. But they just won't do it. And the thing is, it's all Asian cast, no race swapping. Have you really heard them talk about it all that much? But then again, they made Lilo and Stitch come out, and they're complaining that the actual native Hawaiian they cast in it wasn't dark enough. Like, seriously, you're gonna do the Peter Griffin paint swatch kind of test on whether or not you like a character. Anyway, again, some of this artwork is just beautiful, which makes the race swapping just that much more infuriating. It's like they deliberately went out of their way to not make it perfect. So, anyway, that's it. This is my first attempt at a video, so tell me if you want to see more videos like this.